LSG had the perfect formula this season and still messed it up. A match with two maiden overs in today's IPL, that tells you everything about the pitch. And a look at Mayank, Prince, and Brijesh. All this and much more in today's episode of the 23rd Yard Club. Oh, LSG, they have missed on such a golden opportunity to be in the top four this season. The kind of the pace bowling battery that they have, it probably doesn't need them to go bang bang at the top like Rajasthan or Hyderabad, or even at the end like RCB. Just some decent good batting and their bowlers would have taken care of the rest. At least at home at the Ekana Stadium, and then the odd wins here and there, and they would have made it to the top four. That's not been the case so far. Marsh, Markram, Puran, Pant, none of them have gotten going. And other than a drastic turnaround in the back end of the league stage, their season seems to be headed just one way, and you know where that is. Now, why I say what I say is that if you look at the kind of bowling that they have and then see the kind of pitches on offer at home for LSG, you know that most opponents would struggle there. I mean, how many IPL games these days see a maiden over being bowled? How many games see two of them being bowled in the same match? Yesterday was one of the first such in the tournament. In fact, this season it was the first in which both teams sent down a maiden. Now, add that to the fact that one of those maidens was bowled at Vaibhav Suryavanshi. That's a lot of unbelievable things plugged into 1 minute of cricket talk. But it also points directly to how the pitch supported the pacers. And that's been the case throughout this tournament when you talk about the Ekana Stadium. But alas, as I said, their batters and their general approach, whether it's been their fielding or their running between the wickets, it has been a little underwhelming all tournament. Yesterday, I had excitedly messaged in one of my WhatsApp groups that we finally get to watch Mayank Yadav bowl. Absolutely love watching an Indian pacer bowling those speeds in these conditions. Now, unfortunately for Mayank and for Lucknow Super Giants and for me as well personally, it was his spell of done for 56 from 4 overs that turned the game around in favor of Rajasthan. Now, this is not to take the blame away from the absolute headless batting showing from the Super Giants, but in a game where none of the other seamers have gone for more than 7.5 and over, giving away 14 and over is the ultimate release of pressure. Now, that being said, I still liked what I saw of Mayank. He started off with the pace in the area of around 138 to 140 clicks, but he got it to touch 148-49 at some stage in the match as well. In fact, his first over looked to be going to plan 2, having conceded just 4 runs from his first 5 balls, and then of the final delivery. And Umesh Yadav drifted on the leg side, ended in the stands. Now, from then on, every time that Mayank came on to bowl, the batters took very little notice of his pace and went after him. 14 in the second over, 12 in the third, and then he bowled the final over of the innings in which Ravindra Jadeja hit him for 20 runs. Sort of a match turner, a momentum turner for sure. Now, would I play him again if I was Lucknow Super Giants? If I was in the coaching staff? No doubt in that. You don't drop a pacer that quick after just one poor game. And poor game from a perspective of the figures. Not when you have someone like Bharti Arun sitting as a bowling coach in the dugout. The only mitigating factor, however, in this decision is that there are other pacers as well waiting in the ranks. If we discount Avesh Khan after the opportunities that he's got, they still have Naman Tiwari who can bowl some rapid pace. And, there's some left-arm variety as well. Andrik Nokia has probably left the camp, so he's not around. But they have those kind of pacers who can take over the responsibility. Having said that, I would still want to see Mayank bowl a few more overs, but with the team in some kind of doldrums at the moment, having fallen to 9th on the table, and as I said, some options waiting in the shed, Mayank will know that he is on a short run-giving leash. Continuing with this theme of fast bowlers, who would have thought that at approximately the halfway mark, Prince Yadav would be the purple cap holder? It's sort of sad to see him bowl for a team in which the batters have been really this abysmal, not having supported the bowlers at all. But 13 wickets in 7 matches at an economy of less than 8.5, quite good by this season standards. Now, Prince made a very strange start to bowling yesterday, going for 5 of the very first ball, thanks to some overthrows. And as I said, their fielding has been very underwhelming. And then he was smacked for 2 more 4s of the next 2 balls. 13 conceded in the first 3 balls of Prince Yadav's spell. How many did he go for in the remaining spell? A mere 16 more with 2 more wickets to his name, which obviously took him to the purple cap. Speaking of pacers, the other bowler to impress was Brijesh Sharma. Now, I hadn't watched him bowl before this tournament began and had only heard of the stories of him having picked up 11 wickets in 7 Bengal Pro T20 League games. And the way he impressed the Rajasthan Royals coaching stuff in those trials. Now, one look at Brijesh, and he doesn't come across as a frontline seam bowler. But I was very fascinated to watch him bowl in the KKR game. That was not your typical pace bowling pitch. Neither was the ball moving around, nor was it really coming onto the bat. And Brijesh had varied his pace wonderfully in that game, sending down cutters that made it even tougher to hit. The impression that I got was that he's more of a off-spinning, off-cutting bowler who will keep changing pace and bowl the odd one at 130. And even more interestingly, he had been asked to bowl the 18th and the 20th over of the chase. And while he failed to stop the rampaging Rinku Singh and company from scoring the 9 in the final over, he had left a bit of an impression for his smart variations, as I said. But if I thought I would be treated to more of the same against Lucknow, I was in for a surprise. Here, with a pitch chalk and cheese from that Eden Gardens surface, Brijesh bowled at good pace, troubling almost everyone, consistently bowling at speeds of 135 clicks and finishing with 2 for 18 from his 3 overs. Rajasthan's worry defending what looked like a below-par score on a pacey pitch might have been the sudden tapering off of the quality of bowling after Archer and Berger. Brijesh, he did more than his job to ward off any such issues. It would be really interesting to see how he goes in the tournament after having shown his adaptability across 2 different kinds of pitches. And obviously, now that batsmen know more about him than they did earlier. Returning to the Lucknow chase, what was surprising to watch was their approach in the first few overs. On pitches which slow down typically as the game goes along, and you are chasing a big score like what was the case in the previous game, for example, when they were chasing 255 against Punjab. It makes perfect sense to go after the bowlers from the word go. But even there, we have seen batters give themselves some breathing space at the start. Pant and Markram looked to be in a lot of hurry yesterday after Badoni had run himself out. All 3 batsmen going for ducks, and for reasons one cannot be entirely sure of. And in doing so, they had gifted an easy win away to Rajasthan Royals yesterday. So, let me know what you think about Rajasthan Royals' performance in this match. What do you think about Lucknow Super Giants as to what they have done in the whole tournament? And where do you think the 2 teams will end in the tournament league stage? Let me know in the comment section. Please do subscribe to the channel. Until next time, bye-bye.